Here he is, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Shane!
I'm in a good mood.
Hey, good to see you, Shane.
Yeah, great.
And what a great show. Can I tell our wonderful viewers throughout New Zealand that I went with you last Wednesday all the way to Hamilton to view the
Passions of War. What a great show. Lovely cast, and I was really happy to be part of it. And it's a great play, and they're looking at taking it to Australia and various other continents. They're thinking of going around the world. So good on Mark Shaw, who wrote it.
Shaw.
Lovely man, and a great playwright.
Now, Shane, Robin Gibb hanging on?
Robin Gibb is hanging on, and the great news is he's out of the coma, and he came back, and they were apparently playing the Titanic Requiem that he's written with his son, Robin John, I think his name is, his son. And he wrote that, and they were playing that to him over and over while he was in the coma, and he came out, so he woke up to his own music. pretty amazing stuff, and he's holding on. He's a fighter. Good on you, Robin. And
so
I really
now
hope
I know
something
what
comes.
to do one day, Shane. When you're in a coma, play St. Paul over and over again.
I'll stay. That won't come out. God willing, that won't happen.
Now, Shane, enough of the chit chat.
Yes,
we're here for serious business, and that is
Song of the Week, and of course, very sad. Mark Levon Helm, the great drummer, extraordinary drummer, fantastic drummer, multi-instrumentalist, singer, songwriter, everything. He was actually with the band. He passed away and was buried last Thursday. On the 19th, he passed away, 19th of April, and very sad loss. And being a fan that I am,
of the
and
band.
I know,
being a fan
of the band,
yeah.
and I know a lot of people out there have got to be a fan of the band. It's one of the greatest bands I ever heard. And I thought I've got to do a tribute to him, and he deserves it. And sad news. I mean, they're dropping like flies, I keep saying every week.
Shane, what are we drinking? We seem to be, we're still there, aren't we? What do you think it is? You think it's
Red wine. Great for the complexion. Gives you a glow.
On with the band, Shane. On with the band.
Yes, on with the band, yeah. Well, he made it to 71 years old, not too bad, but I'd feel a bit cheated if I got to 71 and I had to go. I hope I get to 100. Yeah. I'm not greedy or anything. But he fought the big C. The cancer finally caught up with him, and that's the reason he died. So he grew up in a place called Turkey Scratch. Now, I had to tell you that because it's an incredible name.
Turkey Scratch.
A little hamlet in Arkansas. It's called Turkey Scratch, and that's where he grew up. Well, they moved out of there pretty much. You wouldn't want that on your address, would you?
Turkey Scratch.
So they moved on, his parents and him, and they bought him a guitar at 6 years old. They took him along to a concert to see Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys. I know you've heard of them. Classic country music. And he was hooked, and he got a guitar, and then he started watching Sonny Boy Williamson, one of the old blues guys, and he watched his drummer and he liked what he did as far as drums go, so he decided to become a drummer as well, and this has started the whole multi-instrumentalist process going.
I thought he was a league player, Sonny Boy Williamson.
Well, Sonny Boy played guitar and yeah, we've got a Sonny Boy here, haven't we?
Sonny Bill.
Yes. Anyway, by the time he's in high school, he forms his first band, as we all do, and he called them the Jungle Bush Beaters. I mean, where did he get that name from? This guy had a very elaborate sort of process in the brain.
The Jungle Bush Beaters.
Yeah, the Jungle Bush Beaters.
That's a great one.
And by the time he was 17, he was professional. He got out into the local clubs and played all around the place. And but comes 1965, Bob Dylan comes into the picture. This is where he decides, I'm going electric. And of course, Bob Dylan had been the folk singer, just with the acoustic guitar and nothing else. So he decides, I'm going to go electric. And he asked the Hawks to join him. Well, of course, they went straight in and said, yeah, great, we're on tour, let's go. And they toured Europe and they toured America as an electric band, but the booing was so loud. I mean, Dylan got booed off the stage everywhere he went. Because no one agreed. He wasn't a purist. The folk purists hated it because they were into this acoustic folk thing at that time, and going electric was just selling right out, So Levon Helm, playing drums for the band, and he toured Europe. Then he just said, "I've had enough of this. I can't stand this booing and everything, and it's not going down well with me." He couldn't hack it at all, so he left the band. He left the Hawks, and he went off and worked in the Gulf of Mexico on oil rigs for a couple of years, and just gave it right away. While the rest of the guys, they got another drummer in, and they carried on touring with Bob Dylan and breaking that thing down about being electric. Anyway, after a couple of years, Bob decides to go back to Woodstock. That's where he lives, in Woodstock. So the band, actually, the Hawks, follow him in there. And they decide to live there as well. And they do a little bit of work, and they're recording and jamming in their house and so on. And they decide to ask Levon Helm to come back. Come back, get off the oil rigs, mate. Give up that proper job and get back to being a muso, which you do best. And so he said, he'd had enough of the oil rig stuff. So he went to Woodstock as well, where he settled for the rest of his life. While they were there was this big old house that they rented called Big Pink. And obviously it was painted pink. And they set it up as a recording studio on them, just themselves, the band. And how they got the name the band was actually the locals of Woodstock would say, the band. Because there was just this band living down the road in the Big Pink house. So they recorded an album in this house. They set it all up and turned it into a studio. And of course they came out with this fantastic album that I've raved about for years, and I still have it at home and I play it quite regularly, Music from Big Pink. And it turned him into overnight stars. I mean, they just went poof. And no one had heard anything like it at the time. The band were incredible. I mean, I have to say. It really, and it was very inspirational for a lot of musicians at the time. Everyone wanted to know how they did this and the harmonies and the singing. So anyway, Levon Helm and that, they became very famous people overnight, basically. Yeah. I saw them in London in 1970, 71. Capitol Records took me along to Albert Hall, and the band were in town. They said, "Do you like the band?" I said, "Do I like the band?" Yeah. Oh, and I got to tell you, it was amazing. Fantastic. I'll never forget that concert. There's three of them gone. Three of the band are gone. I think Robbie Robertson's the only one left now.
Really?
Yeah.
They're all gone. Well, I think the band should take a break and surmise.
Yeah, the big surmise will be there's only one left. Oh my God. A one-man band.
One-man band. Well, Shane, tonight I can surmise that tonight's song of the week has to be
from 1969. Here's Levon Helm with Up on Cripple Creek.
That was a great song.
Yes. Now, did you see Up on Cripple Creek? And did you notice on that there's Ringo Starr playing drums, and there's Jim Keltner as well. He's a drummer, great drummer. There's three drummers on that clip. There's Joe Walsh from the Eagles.
From the Eagles, yes.
And there's Dr. John himself there, and Billy Preston. They're all in that band. What an amazing clip, and great salute to Levon Helm. And did you know?
I had
Did you
no
know?
idea.
You know that cover I was talking about, the music from the Big Pink?
Pink, yeah.
It was Bob Dylan that painted that picture on the front.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, it's a crazy looking picture. I don't know. It's a crazy looking cover when you saw it. How the elephant got in there, I don't know. I mean, what the hell was that doing?
The elephant in the room.
And that album, Music from the Big Pink, it came out at number 34 of the 500 greatest albums ever made, according to the Billboard magazine, which is basically the musical Bible. So 34 out of 500 albums is pretty good. So.
Well, Shane, tribute to
Levon Helm, yeah. God bless him.
Years old,
and,
died last week.
Yeah,
Well,
71.
no, the 19th of April, and so we had to have a song of the week devoted to him.
Yeah, a great musician, and he was one of the best. I'm very sad.
Once again,
A wonderful, wonderful song of the week. So all I can say is, Shane, you've done it again!
Take me up on Cripple Creek. Is she a send me if I crank a leg? Now she a make it. I don't have to speak. Is she the best? It from her street. If I ever did see you.
Thank you, Shane. And that, my friends, is our show tonight. A big thanks for tuning in. Plus, a big thanks to all our guests. I'm Jared Smith for The Beat Goes On. Until we meet again in another 7 days' time, have yourself a great week.